Welcome back to my FireFall guides. Today I'm going to go over the Recluse. The Recluse is a Tier 2 Bioframe Battleframe. Previously I covered the Dragonfly, which is also a Tier 2 Biotech Battleframe, but the Dragonfly is more of the healing type. The Recluse here is more of a damage dealing of the two. As you can see, the Battleframes are kind of similar. They've got a lot of the same similar elements between the Dragonfly and the Recluse. The reactor pack in the back is kind of similar. This one's a little bit more subdued, although this one isn't as high level as the Dragonfly one that I posted. So the armor actually changes as you level up, so there may be some differences. But you see the arm guards are gigantic on this, and they've got little capsules and everything like that. So that's just the general look of the Battleframe. Getting into how it actually works, the primary weapon that's unique to the Recluse is the Bio Crossbow. A lot of people have issues with this weapon. It is not a user-friendly weapon when you start out of the box with it. The primary fire is a bolt. A crossbow shoot bolts, and it looks, you know, fairly similar to a lot of other projectile weapons that this game has. But it tends to not go where you want it to go, because it's a bolt and it has drop. See, I shot right through him. I finally landed a shot, and you know, it'll do good damage if you land your shots. But sometimes it's very difficult. Let's see, I shot right between the guy's legs. Are you kidding me? It also has drop to it, you know, and it has a fairly high recoil for a single shot weapon. In comparison, the Electron, the Tier 2 engineer frame that I covered before, has a single dot reticle just like this, except for that weapon shoots straight. There's no recoil, and it will go exactly where that dot goes. Here it jumps up, and I don't know where the thing goes. So when you start using this frame, you're going to hate this weapon, and you may even decide to go back to the Tier 1 biotech weapon, and I wouldn't blame you. But before you do that, you need to check out the secondary fire of this weapon. Now, the secondary fire only uses one round of ammo, and it basically shoots a grenade, a poison grenade. The damage that it does on a direct hit is about half as much as your primary fire shots. Primary fire will do about, let's see, 10,000 damage, or hit 1,090. Yeah, he got killed before I got to him. And the secondary will do about 400 damage on this suit right now, where I've got everything set. So it'll do a little bit under half damage for a direct shot. But the beautiful part of this weapon doesn't lie in direct damage. The beautiful part in this weapon comes from the effect of the grenade. Now, when you land the grenade, you can do direct damage if it lands, but it will do dot damage. See it ticking? And this is doing dot damage, and I'm completely out of the line of fire. So I'm not taking any damage. There's no way I can take damage while that's ticking if I'm behind something. See, there's 400 damage for a direct shot with my secondary. Primary fire, you can do good damage if you can line up your shots. But like I've discussed before, sometimes it's difficult to do that. So this weapon really shines with its secondary fire. Primary fire is difficult. Now, when we get into the abilities here, the first ability we're going to go over is Creeping Death. Basically, this loads up a poison round in your primary fire for the next shot. So let me click it here. So now it's loaded, and then when I shot, it puts down a giant poison cloud that lasts a little bit longer. It's got pretty decent AoE. Now, that's very useful. I mean, you can lay down shots like this, and I'm pretty sure the damage will stack from your secondary weapon and from that creeping death. So you can lay down a lot of damage over time. Now, the next ability is Kinetic Shot. Kinetic Shot kind of works like Ballistic or Missile Shot from the Tiger Claw. Basically, it's a single shot. When you click the ability, it shoots. The further away you are, the more damage it will do, and there's some splash damage to it. Let me see if I can line up a shot here. See, that did 15 instead of basically 1,000 damage. But it also gives me a little bit of splash damage on that shot. The cooldown on that shot is pretty low, which is helpful. So you can use it more often. All in all, I don't tend to use that as one of my abilities, but it is the one of the 3 unique abilities for the Recluse. I tend to use something from the base level, either the Healing Wave, which I can hit multiple enemies with, or some other ability from the basic biotech family. The 3rd unique ability is Evacuate. Launch backwards and leave behind a cloud of poison. This is kind of fun if you're in a situation with a lot of enemies. Thumping is a good situation here. If this guy wasn't killing all my mobs for me to show you. The cloud that it leaves is actually pretty good damage. Let's see if it jumps you back, and that just did 2 ticks of 380 damage before he got killed. So, it shows it does pretty decent damage, and it launches you back. So if you're in an indoor range with a lot of enemies around, you can use that to get in the thick of it, jump back, so that you're not taking all that damage. So you can throw in a couple rounds of creeping death and then get behind a corner. Because, like I said before, a lot of the damage you're going to do with this class is indirect. You're going to do a lot of damage over time. Which makes sense because it's a Recluse, which is a spider, which is poisonous. So it all comes together. The reasoning behind the Dragonfly, not so sure. But anyway, so those are the 3 unique abilities for this class. The HMK, let's see if I can get it charged up here. Staying in battle and killing stuff here. It's called Necrosis. What Necrosis does is much like the Firecat's HMK, which I believe is Incinerate. It basically envelops you with an AoE cloud of poison. So you're doing damage to everything around you. To my knowledge, it doesn't give a debuff, a dot tick debuff on the enemies that it hits, but it does constant damage to things around. I'm still trying to get built up here. One thing to be aware of with this frame, you will take poison damage if you are hanging out in your clouds. All this Church of Creeping Death, dump a Creeping Death right on my thumper. Anything that comes in is going to get killed, just like that. Like I said, it's very effective in AoE situations. So this is actually a decent frame to solo with. There's some amount of healing that you can do. If you take any of the basic, say like a healing ball or something like that, you could use that to heal yourself. There's perks that you can use that give you health back for damage done. You can use that. See, even though I'm taking damage on him, I'm getting healed. You can see the the green 15s propping up there. Wow, he called that right down on top of me. That's nice of him. Almost got my HMK charged up. So as you can see, I use my secondary a lot more than my primary. Let me dump this thumper back down here. And I will show you my HMK. Now, while I got a second here, I'm going to put up a link right now to another video that I made for increasing your DPS, which basically tells you to make sure that you're modding out all of your slots, because your the stat you want to look for on your frame is power rating. Power rating is a modifier for all the damage and all the healing and anything that you do. And it also modifies your damage that your primary weapon does and your secondary weapon. So as that goes up, it multiplies the damage, your damage output. Alright, so here's my HMK. You see it's like a damage cloud. It just does damage to everything around me. Stuff's ticking for like 200 damage a second. It doesn't last very long, but it does a ton of damage. So if you're wading in to a heavily packed indoor area, you can clean it out pretty quick, like if you're in an Ares mission with that ability. Tips and tricks, basically, you can, much like the Firecat, you can get stuff cooking with a dot first, and then you can try to finish it off with your primary fire. That's a little trick that you can use. Your evacuate, you can use that to get out of trouble. Again, it'll boost you back. So if you're getting pounded up here, just hit it, and it'll give you, a head start getting out of trouble, and hopefully back to where you can heal up or collect your thoughts at least. So that's basically all I have for the Recluse. Feel free to check out my other guides. Put a link up right there. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you are interested in watching more guides. I plan on doing a Tiger Claw guide here today. And put in the comments any other frames you'd like to see me to cover. And I will get on that for your information and enjoyment. Again, thanks for watching, and come back soon.